Hello, hello humans, good to have you here and welcome to the stream. It is Friday, March 31, 2023, 5:10 a.m. This time check was brought to you by your favorite color surfing DJ, Serjay Svek. That's right, good to see you all and welcome to the stream. How are you this Friday morning? Glad to have you all here. And yes, it is true, you are not seeing an illusion, your eyes do not deceive you. We are back with yet another episode of the DJ Serjay Morning Talk Show. I suppose you could call me a filthy little liar because I did say not just a couple of weeks ago that I will not be doing another episode of DJ's Serjay anytime soon. But, you know, a part of me just wanted to, you know, give it a try, go for it, and then maybe we'll see. Because, you know, there's always this urge for me to just want to talk. Always want to talk. And then here we are. As it's always like that with me. You have to understand that there's something that I want to do. There's just this urge that makes me want to do it, and then eventually I will keep doing it. Last week I did the same with my debut, and this week I'm doing it with this show. So if you've been following me for long enough, then I think you already know what to expect when it comes to me. But again, if you are here, if you are either watching live, whether you're lurking, or if you are watching the VOD that will be posted in a couple of days, I still want to thank you for coming here and for making me a part of your day. Greatly appreciate you all here. And if you did miss my debut, the VOD is available on my YouTube channel, and you will also be able to learn a bit more about me. And as you can see right now, without waiting, we are now using my new costume designed by my mod, Miles. And speaking of mods, I have been reading up that today is actually, or maybe yesterday, March 30. I kind of lose track of time. That it is actually Mod Appreciation Day. So don't forget that if you are a streamer or if you also have a Discord server, don't forget to take the time to also give thanks to your mods who do their best and work their hardest to keep your channel safe. Oh my goodness, it is a Friday now. We have one more day left, and then we're going to be moving on to the weekend. You know, sometimes I do lose track of time. I didn't even realize that today was Friday, for one. And tomorrow is actually April Fool's Day, April 1. So I just want to make clear, I don't know how you all work, but I just want to say that if ever you're going to go ahead and make jokes, especially on Twitter and stuff like that, please make sure that you don't just rely on, like, say, fake graduations or, you know, a bunch of stuff like that. I don't know. That never sat right with me. Or those fake twitlongers. That's not my cup of tea. I mean, I cannot stop you if you want to do it, but you know, I'm just making it known that that's not what I like to see. But you know, Twitter is it's a whole new minefield. But you know, we just have to take everything that's happening tomorrow with a grain of salt. Hey Tonk, good to have you here. Good morning. Good to see you. And yes, for those who don't know, Tonk is actually another Filipino streamer and has recently completed a couple of streams building a computer. So that was a really, really interesting set of streams. Good to have you here, Tonk. Thanks for dropping by early in the morning. Glad to have you here. Yeah, it's good to have all of you here again. Hey, and welcome Tachikoma. Good to have you here. Another Filipino streamer, VTuber. What's up? What's up? How are you doing today? What's naman? League of Legends. League of Legends. Don't forget to take a bath. Make sure to Ligo na naman, please. Everybody who's watching, especially, we're gonna be entering April, and you know that March is already super hot nowadays, but it's gonna get even hotter in April. So make sure that you always hydrate. You take a bath, drink your 8 glasses of water, or maybe 10, and then don't forget, especially if you have pets, please make sure that you also watch out for them, give them their water, and if they need to be groomed, please just groom them. Oh, Tonk is asking a question. Which part of your body is your favorite to work on in the gym? That's a good question. I guess my chest. I guess that's the one that's like anything that involves barbells is fun. I haven't really practiced my bench press, but I have been working on my shoulder press, and my record so far is 25 kilograms. You know, shoulder press where you lift it above your head while you're standing. That's my record so far. I'm hoping to make it bigger soon. But before we go any higher, we need to make sure that we have the correct form. And yeah, I did say that I wanted to build up my record on deadlift. So it's like you're lifting the barbell straight from the ground. My current record is 50 kilograms. The goal one of these days with my coach is to be able to surpass my previous record. So from 50 kilograms, I hope to lift like up to 70. That's what coach says. Coach says, oh, I think you're ready, Serjay. You can do it. Yes, and Tonk is also asking because Tonk also does exercise. So you know, we have been and has been coming back. So you know, it's good to be able to see more people exercising and you know, getting more into control of their health. And also, I would like to acknowledge ano ba to, yung parang event lang ba? I would like to acknowledge the presence of Sersu. I hope I am pronouncing your name right, Sersu. Yo, Serjay, what's up, man? Glad to have you here. It's good to see you. Another VTuber on the scene. Welcome, welcome. The Wandering Bard, the Hunter of Lost Souls. And who is playing Nikkei. Nice, nice. I have never played Nikkei, or maybe I just won't admit to it, but I have heard that it is available on PC now. So it was I don't know if anybody has ever tried streaming it, but I think it still has that, you know, like that vertical TikTok shape aspect ratio. So you like have to like adopt your overlay to make it, you know, fit that ratio. Yeah. So Sir Sue said, yeah, Tonk says we are gym buddies. Yes, we are. Even if we're not close to each other. We offer each other advice and we encourage each other because, you know, I have found that working out, going to the gym, people are actually very encouraging, which is a big surprise too. Sersu says, how did you pronounce my name first try? Well, I did remember you saying it as Sersu, and if nothing else, it's also because I think I recall like the character from Greek mythology, Circe, the witch. So yeah, I think it kind of like put 2 and 2 together, and I made a lucky guess. But yeah, oh, they pronounce it circu, like circus. Oh, okay, I see. Yeah, I think it's because of the word association. So unfortunately, people sometimes might think one or the other. So, but yeah, lucky for me, we were able to do Sersu. Yep. Tonk says, for sure, always have an eye out for those that do bench presses or barbells because no spotters. All right, Tonk. Your gym is not like, at least from what I see, I don't know if you have like a personal trainer or a coach that's just wandering around. So you don't really have someone who is able to spot and rescue you in case you're doing barbell stuff. So yeah, be careful out there. Please, anybody who wants to go to the gym someday, please don't lift heavier than what you are capable of doing. Okay? I'll just so you know, from my experience actually, the barbell itself, just the barbell, the pole is already 20 kilograms. So if you just start lifting just the bar, then that's okay. Because that thing is heavy, man. That thing is heavy. Not already counting, like adding plates to it to make it heavier. Goodness gracious. Tonk says, yeah, it's the gym here in the condo, so all residences, and it's been a while since I've seen the personal coaches. Ah, yeah. I guess it's also because of, you know, the pandemic and the traveling and everything. It's also difficult to do. I know in my place we do have a gym of our own, but because of my unusual hours of working and sleeping, I decided to go to the nearest Anytime Fitness, and which is good because sometimes I just go when it is the easiest. And sometimes it's like in the middle of the night or super early in the morning just because. And that it's such a relief. And you know, speaking of which, it's just funny because like I said earlier that I kind of lose track of time. I completely forgot that next week is already Holy Week. And I was talking to my coach, and coach said, oh, Serjay, we will not be having any sessions on Thursday and Friday. And I was like, okay, why is that, coach? Is anything happening? It's Holy Week. Oh, right. So it's like, oh, right. Okay. I completely have been focusing on a bunch of other things that sometimes, you know, that just happens to the best of us, you know? That you just get focused on whatever you do, and then whatever you do, let's say work or other tasks, caring for your family or whatever, and then all of a sudden, all right, it's something is happening, right? Okay, that's the weird thing. And but yeah, actually, the good thing about the good thing I realized about Anytime Fitness is that even if the coaches are not available, let's say very early on a Sunday morning, it's actually, as long as you're a member, you have a key fob and you can actually buzz yourself in and then use the gym. So you don't have to wait for a coach or any of the staff to be available. That's the benefit of it. So sometimes, especially early on Sunday morning, I like to go there, and it's like paradise. No one no one is there. No one is there to look at you, especially if you're a bit conscious of of how you do your exercises. Then you don't have to worry about that anymore because you've got the entire place to yourself. So that's chef's kiss. It's the best part ever. Going back to some of the chat here. Sursu says, yes, I do work out too, but for other sports too. I lift to be less injury prone since my high school days are really, really full of injuries for me. Yeah. Injuries are always like the worst part. I'll say this, I was never the sportiest kid in school or ever at all. You know, most of my friends, my guy friends, they would go around and play basketball. I was part of the library club. Okay, don't be shy in the chat if you are willing to, whether you're a lurker or a chatter. Was anyone part of the library club? And if you were not part of the library club, what clubs were you in? Because I was part of the library club. I was part of the writers club. I was part of the choir club. I was part of all of those clubs that did not involve sports at all. Goodness. But by the time I went to college, I don't know if it was the same or if it is the same for you, but in my college or university, we were allowed to select our PE classes for the first couple of years in college. So freshman and sophomore year. So what happened is that sure, we have things like basketball, tennis, and we even had airsoft rifle shooting. But the only PE classes that I took were all martial arts. You know, if you know me, I grew up watching kung fu movies, so martial arts was a big part of my life. Even as a kid, I think most of us who grew up in the 90s or the early 2000s, I think we were all involved in some way in Taekwondo class, TKD, because, you know, that was the big thing back in the day. You know, that was the big martial art, Taekwondo. Not to mention the fact that you could always see Japoy Lizardo's face everywhere back in Milo. Milo every day. So yes, before Milo was the energy gap song, they had Milo every day with Japoy Lizardo, who never seems to age for some reason. And I remember when I was a kid, when I was like in the summer of grade 6, I already hit like 100 pounds. So I already was like pretty big as a kid in elementary school. Like when I hit puberty, my weight kind of ballooned. So one summer, me and my best friend, we were enrolled by our parents to go to Taekwondo class. And I only hit yellow belt. Don't ask. Okay, I wasn't really good at it. I'm still not so flexible with my legs, okay? But when I went to college, I remember I was like the very first PE class I picked because I had no choice. I was the last batch was Taekwondo again. And holy cow, that brought back a lot of memories. And the other classes that I picked for PE, because you can choose 4, there's 2 semesters, and then that'll be 2 years. So I had Taekwondo, I had Judo, I had Wushu, and the last is Tai Chi. And I will say this, that if you think Tai Chi is, you know, nothing, it hurts. Tai Chi is so painful. Or maybe it's just because of my master. Because he's the type of guy that will say, Serjay, okay, no. It's like this, because the classes themselves, if you go to the classes, they're kind of easy. Because, you know, you just do the forms, and then that's it. But I was one of those peeps that was really, really excited, and I really wanted to learn more about Tai Chi, that by the end of the semester, the master let me demonstrate a special form. So we were tasked to do 10 steps, 24 steps, 40-step Tai Chi. I was there to demonstrate for 40-step and 32-step with a sword. And I still have the sword with me. It was actually a gift from my Wushu teacher. Let me just get it from there, like that. You know what? I feel like doing a little bit of show and tell. So, but before we do that, let's just put on some Spotify music so it's not so boring. Yeah, let me know if it's not too loud. Okay. All right, let me go get my stuff. I know there's a lot of chatting here, which I'm very happy to see, but I'll definitely go read that first. We're gonna do a bit of show and tell. Where is this? Okay, it's here. All right. Hey, welcome. Yes, for those of you who don't know, this is me. This is real. This is me. Yes, it is I, Serjay, in the flesh. And good to see you all. And I remember, so this was a gift given to me by my Wushu teacher, because the Tai Chi teacher and my Wushu teacher were in a way related, because he taught her a bit. And I remember I did, right before New Year of 2022 or 2023, I was doing a cleaning stream, and I wanted to show off some of the stuff that I found, and this is it. So if you play Soul Calibur, then this is a Jin, a Chinese straight sword. So this is the weapon of Shanghua. So let me just pull it up here. It comes with the classic tassels in it. Let me just pull this out from the case. Here it is. It's not high quality, okay? The wooden scabbard is actually losing like the glue that's putting it together. The bottom part fell off. See this metal cap here? So this is definitely not quality, but it has sentimental value. So this is it. Then I'll pull it up. This is what the blade looks like. Super shiny. There's actually the pattern. I'm not sure if you're able to see it well here, but here is a dragon near the guard. And this blade is like super blunt. I can run my finger along it and then it's not gonna hurt me at all. So this kind of sword was the one that I used during the demonstration at the end of the semester for Tai Chi class. There's also like a collapsible version which you can buy in places like Binondo. That's usually where you can buy all the stuff. But in my senior year, right before I graduated from university, my wushu teacher gifted me this sword. And the funny thing is that we were in our college yearbook. They asked us not only for like the formal picture where you would be wearing your toga. They also asked us to make like a creative picture. So what they mean by creative picture is that, you know, you could just do anything you want. You could cosplay, you could do any kind of weird antics, so long as you are not, you know, blatantly like, it's like you're not naked or wearing anything revealing or anything like that. So I remember in previous years, there was this person who actually went to the studio dressed up as a Jollibee employee, but they were eating a burger McDo. So those sorts of antics are still allowed. But what I did is that I tried to go for a more formal approach. So I wore like a fancy dress shirt. So it's kind of like, you know, I'm going to like a formal party, and I brought my sword along, and I used it kind of like a cane. So I just rested my hands on this like that, and I told them, is it okay if I can unsheath the sword and then just hold onto it like I would a cane? But then they said, no, Serjay, you're not allowed to do that. That's not safe. And I'm like, okay, fair enough. Wasted opportunity. My gosh. And you know what's even funnier? One of my friends actually brought her katana. She actually brought her katana to the photo shoot. My goodness. And because of that, she also tried the same, you know. She wanted to show herself wielding the katana, but they were like, no. Don't draw the katana, okay? So what she ended up doing instead was like she was about to do a quick draw like this. Just the pose. Like that. So as if she were to do a quick draw technique. So compromises. And it was kind of difficult going to and from home she was trying to do judgment cut in a way. So there's that. I quickly draws a sliced apple like Ukiyo from Samurai Showdown. My goodness. So there's that. Those were the kinds of antics we went through, and it was a lot more difficult back in the day because we did not have things like Grab or even Uber. And then so I had to go ride the MRT and LRT, but of course they would not allow me because I had a big sword hanging off my back. And even then, back in the day, they will still allow you to ride, even if you have like arnistics, because it's not too long and too threatening. But when it came to my sword, for example, they were like, oh no, that's not allowed. Good thing they just said it's not allowed, and they did not confiscate the sword. So it was a really difficult time going back home carrying this thing. My gosh. Arnie stick painful? Yes, but I don't know what the ruling is. It's just, you know, I guess it's because maybe because they took a look at it and then they saw it was like the rubber ones. The ones that you use for like practice tournaments. Not like the real rattan ones. Goodness gracious. I have seen the ones that are like made of gamagong. If you get hit by one of those, especially if you get hit in the arm or wrist by one of those, just kiss your wrist goodbye. It's probably not gonna grow back. It's probably not gonna get fixed ever. So enjoy it while it lasts. Goodness gracious. Okay, so that is my sword story. I have a sword. My brother was actually gifted a katana as well. I'm not gonna show that because that's his. So I got a Chinese one. And I kind of feel more attached to this one because, again, I grew up with Kung Fu movies. So Jet Li was my favorite movie star back in the day. And I remember back in elementary school when slum books were still popular, they actually would say, "Who's your favorite movie star?" And showing my age, they would say people like Tom Cruise or Leonardo DiCaprio or something like that. But I was the only one in my class that said Jet Li or Jackie Chan. So, and then they look at me and then they say, "Serjay, you're weird." I can't help it. Those were the only movies that I really enjoyed to watch back in the day. Okay, so let's take a look at the chat here. There was a lot of conversation. I enjoyed it. This is good. This is good. So, yes, for those of you who don't know, if you enter ! color, you will find your color fortune of the day. So, it seems that for Sersu and Tonk, they have both violet. So, they're the royalty of the day. And for me, mine is orange because, well, nobody can match me. I am unique. Barons, good to have you here. Welcome to the stream. And if anybody wants to go ahead and check out Farron's, he is another streamer. He is also one of the people from my Splatoon circle. So an awesome Splatoon streamer. And great to have you here. Farron says, you should catch John Wick 4 in theaters at your leisure. Donnie Yen was a beast there. I see. I'll go ahead and take a look at that. You know, I think with my community, I should go ahead and actually have a watch along. I have never watched any of the John Wick movies, and I think it's high time that I actually do so. I did want to watch. I did watch clips, and I know Tom Cruise is great, but you know, if you also wanted to watch movies like The Raid, then in John Wick 3, they also have the villains of the Raid movies as characters there in that movie. Yaya Ruhian and Chechep Rahman or something like that. The Assassin and Mad Dog. So those are good. It's really nice. And Tonk says stretch. So you know, since we're here, we have the webcam on. We'll just do a little Tai Chi stretch. The most difficult stretch that my master used to teach me, even though it's so simple, it's just karate horse stance, you know, or taekwondo. So, up, and breathe down. And then up, down. And then just hold. Bend your knees, kind of like horse stance in karate, and hold. And then what you have to do, you have to make sure elbows down. Serjay, elbows down. He kept saying, yes, sir. Yes, master. Then shoulders down, make it round, like you're holding a ball. Thumbs out. Poke your butt out a bit. I'm not going to show you that, you degenerates. No. You need to subscribe to my Only Hues for that. It's very early in the morning. Kids are waking up. Then you would hold this. And then just hold it for, I don't know, 5 minutes. Or until your legs start aching. My goodness. That was horrible. Horrible pain. And that was just a bunch of the things that used to make Tai Chi class very fun, but also very painful. All right, let's go back a bit. Let's take a look here. Good. So Tonk says, good you still work out, Sersu. Worst thing we can do is stop after the injuries. Yeah. I don't. I'm lucky that I never got really that injured, except for this one time in judo class. And I think that was also a major reason why they stopped, why they eventually got rid of the judo class in my university, and they replaced it with Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. Because a lot of people kept getting injured in the judo class, probably because when you get thrown, some of them don't know how to land properly yet, because they're still beginners, and they end up like breaking a shoulder, breaking an elbow. In my case, what happened is that I threw my opponent. I was the one who threw, and then because it's like in your collar of your shirt, it kind of got tangled. This finger, my left ring finger, got tangled in his gi, his shirt, and then it did not break. It did not break, but they said it was just like very stressed, that it hurt a lot for the next week. So I still went to a doctor, and then they put it in a splint, which is pretty much bandages and a popsicle stick. And then they kept it there for like a week, and I could not do it. Of course, we could do gi-less judo or shirtless judo, but we're college students. I don't think the world is ready for gi-less judo in college. That's probably just save that for the MMA club, if ever. But even then, I think just for the sake of decency, they still kept shirts on in the MMA club. It's only like if ever you do like a professional fight that you really have to go shirtless, because it's a lot harder to grab on if you don't have a shirt. And I'll tell you this, if you ever did karate or taekwondo before, the shirts are actually pretty light, cottony stuff. But if you are studying judo, it's actually super heavy, the gi, the shirts, because those things have to withstand everybody like pulling and pulling and pulling and pulling at the collars, at the sleeves. So it's they have to be made of a very sturdy material, and because of that, it's also very difficult to wash it sometimes. So you really have to like wash it. It's not like you can just put it in a washing machine. Sometimes you have to like really soak it up and then hand wash it. So yeah, that was one of the difficult parts of judo, at least. But yeah, that was my injury story, and I still had to not take judo class. I just had to sit in the class and observe. So for a week, and it still felt bad because I enjoyed judo class. But I also understand what the university thought of eventually when they said, let's just get rid of it, because it's kind of dangerous. Way too many students were getting injured. So that's why they decided, the judo coach decided to switch over to Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu instead, which is relatively safer, because instead of like focusing on the throwing, it's mostly just being on the ground and then fighting from there, choking, grappling, all that stuff. We're gonna just do a bit more backtracking, and hopefully we'll be able to catch it. Let's see here. Sir Sue says, I tried to. So in response to being told that, it's good to keep working out even if you can't stop, Sir Sue says, I tried to, but I just can't help it. It is fun to play sports like basketball and table tennis. Yes, it really is. Tonk says, I was in the chef's club in grade school. Hey, nice. Sports varsity in high school. That's good to know. Thank you for sharing. And Tonk says team table tennis. Okay, you'll have to tell me For those who play table tennis, were you the ones that hold your let me get a demonstration. Did you hold your ping pong paddle like this, so regular, and then you serve, or did you do it like the pen style? Pat, pat, pat. I'm terrible when it comes to ping pong, okay, or table tennis, as you call it. I could never really, get to follow it, especially since, the ball is like very light. It's like it weighs nothing, but then it like moves so fast, and then you have to like really gauge what's happening. So I was not really good at that. It also helps that ever since I was a kid, I had to wear glasses. So any type of sports that involves like, moving around with objects flying around like that, it was dangerous for me. Why do you think I just focused on martial arts instead? I was not really good at it, I'll let you know. I'm not really good with the martial arts, but it was fun. And it was the closest thing that I could do to live out my fantasy of fighting in a kung fu movie. And then... Ooh, Sersu was team captain, nice, of basketball and table tennis, nice. Oh, so Sersu was MMA, mixed martial arts, very nice. Good, good, good. We've got very sporty people joining in the chat, nice. Tonk says, oh, you were team captain, but you tore your ACL, oh my gosh. ACL is in the leg, right? That's a very common injury among sports people. An ACL injury is a tear or sprain of the anterior cruciate ligament, one of the strong bands of tissue that... So it's in the knee. Okay, knee. Oh yeah. It's like when I used to watch WWE, that used to be like a very common injury, and also that's where I first heard of it. And it was also among like athletes in general. If you do a lot of running around and stuff like that, the risks of getting injuries on your ACL is not uncommon, and it can be very, very bad. I remember when I was still in judo class, the coach said, it's okay if you want to go for chokes. It's okay if you want to go for like arm bars, arm grapples. That's fine. No worries about that. It's okay. But do not ever use any of the leg submission holds. So no ankle twisting, no knee stretching, none of those. Not at all. I guess it's also because they recognize how debilitating it can be if you get an injury to your leg. As Tonk says, it's common, and the doctor says he's tried doing torn ACL operations. Gosh, and it's a dream crusher for athletes. I can see why, especially if you're a soccer player or a basketball player, or anything that involves a lot of running around or moving. It's terrible having to, tear such a muscle, and then you can't do your thing anymore. Oh, what you meant was the doctor was tired from doing ACL operations. Oh, I see. So it was such a common thing that, they got tired of it. That I think I get what you're coming from regarding that. That's no... Yeah. My fingers can't type after 3 hours of editing. Yeah, I understand. No worries about it. Sursu says, nowadays, not really, since modern medicine makes ACL kind of a cakewalk nowadays. Oh, that's good. At least. So people don't really have to worry about, injuring you know, the dream ending because of a torn ACL and your knees, but apparently it's ankle injuries. Oh, yeah. Yeah, same thing that actually happened with... Oh no, Coach has knee problems, not ankle problems. Coach as in my gym coach right now. I'm still pretty big, as you may have seen when I was standing up doing Tai Chi stretches. I actually tried... If there's one thing that I'm proud of, is that I'm very good at the squats, even if it's body weight. Even if I did not know any exercises and the machines and stuff, Coach complimented me on my squat form. And one time we tried doing jump squats. So, you know, you bend your knees, you squat, and then at the end, whoop, jump. And boy, oh boy, I tried to jump and then land, boom. Okay. You're supposed to, when you jump, you're supposed to land and bend your knees, and then do the squat in the same motion. So it's like, it's one smooth motion. Like, bend down, jump, bend down to do the squat, jump again. It's a challenge for me, okay? And especially since I'm still very big, you know, all that weight gets centralized onto my very poor ankles. So I told Coach, this is probably not gonna work. And then Coach said, yeah. Not yet. Let's not do that yet. Probably when I lose more weight and get stronger. Let's see here. Milo. Oh, yeah, we were talking about Milo earlier. So before Energy Gap, we had Milo every day. Yeah. Hey Sani, good to have you here. Welcome to the stream. How are you doing today? Welcome, welcome. Yeah, we're just talking about like school sports and a bunch of other things. It was really good. Oh, you played Valheim. That's nice. Yeah, I have a friend, my editor, is actually did make some videos playing Valheim, and it looks very fun. I don't think I can play it though, because I'm not sure if it's available on the Nintendo Switch. I got a potato laptop, so streaming Steam games might not be the best thing to do right now. But in any case, I'm very glad that you are here and welcome. And are you a radio DJ? No, I am not. But I will say a bunch of people that I have met before did say that I do have the voice of a radio DJ. That I could be a radio DJ, and I did think about it. I wanted to give it a try, but I'm like, I don't know anything about modern music. Tonk, I don't have any commands for my laptop specs. Sorry, I don't. I'm shy. But no, it's just a what is this brand? It's an Asus that we got from Republic of Gamers a couple of years ago. So it ain't that good anymore. It's long overdue. You know, if one of these days I really want to be able to go out and then just say, hey, you know, we need to go get myself a new computer. If not a new laptop, then a new computer. Okay, I think it's upgradable. I am not sure. I'm not really good when it comes to laptops and upgrades. I know for a fact that right now we only have 8 gigabytes of RAM, and that ain't good. So the plan of having things like a live 2D model for my VTuber, or even just playing games on Steam, is probably not good at this time. Not anytime soon. Okay. we're it's a dream that's very far away right now. Oh my gosh. But I actually saw this post on Twitter from another VTuber who said that upgrading from 16 gigabytes of RAM to 32 gigabytes of RAM was a huge jump, a huge improvement. So in my 8 gigabyte RAM capacity, cannot imagine what exactly is the difference. I'm not sure. I think the only thing I can think of is that at least in OBS, I will no longer see things like missed frames or skipped frames. And I can probably actually play Steam games, and then I can have a live 2D model? I don't know. So there's that. So everyone, I want to let you know that I do have a gank. So I'm gonna go ahead and just put there new PC new PC fund for Serjay. Okay, just slap it there and then let it fill up. I don't know. I do have a gank, by the way, but I'm like, and I will admit that I do. It's just that I see people with like coffee and then gank, and I'm like, or throne, or one gift, and I'm like, does this feel right for me? It's a me thing that I find it very difficult to actually respond if someone says, Serjay, do you want a gift? Or what do you want for a gift? Even as a kid, I had a difficult time answering that question. Because, you know, as a kid, I was always taught and raised to be like, you know, don't ask for gifts. Always, you have to be the one that's generous. You have to be the one that's kind. And it's not morally correct to ask for gifts. Or if someone is offering you a gift, just say, no, I don't want it. So I'm trying to get out of that habit too. Because I know that if someone is offering me a gift, or let's just say someone is saying nice things or giving me a compliment, the best thing that I could do is just say, or the least I can do is say thank you. Because I had a bad habit of not accepting compliments at all. And apparently I am not alone in that. A bunch of people I know have a difficult time accepting compliments. Either they say they don't deserve it, or they think it's just nothing. But I think the first thing that we could do is just to say thank you at first. Now, whether that means I deserve any gifts, I don't know. But we'll see. But it's just there in the chat. I don't know if I don't know if I'm gonna put there Serjay's PC fund. But it's there. Okay, if you want to use it, it's there. If it's not gonna be used, that's fine. And then Boost was mentioned in the chat just now. I'll go look into that. That's supposed to be like a local equivalent. I'll go take a look into that, because at least that way, if people have difficulty like paying with PayPal, at least, does Boost also take Gcash or something like that? Yeah, more options is always good. That's my philosophy on life. Why have one thing when you can have 10 things? A lot of people, I'm sorry there's an ad right now, but we're just talking anyway. So in the meantime, I'm gonna go ahead and have a drink. It's been a while, so let me just drink first. You know, this is for you, for all the ASMR for the people who enjoy ASMR, maybe would like this one. Oh, that's hard. That's pretty difficult to do. My goodness. Glug glug glug. I am always so amazed at how people can do ASMR, because I want to be able to do content like that, but you know, trying to provide the triggers, saying the things, it's difficult for me to keep a straight face. I try to do like boyfriend ASMR, but I'm like, yeah, you like that when you like it when I call you good boy, good girl, but I can't help but laugh because it just doesn't sound like me. I can't reconcile the fact that it's not me. So if anyone is if you're able to do that, then you have my admiration. You're amazing. Okay, so let's check over here. Sir Sue says, nowadays I'm weighing 90 kilograms with ankle supports and doing my best to lose weight. That's the attitude, Sir Sue. You'll get there. You'll get there. And I believe in you too. Sir Sue says, my build after this became a strong man from Europe, so yeah, I lift too much heavy things, though I'm only 5'8". That's just a couple of inches taller than I am. My gosh. Wow. You're doing amazing. Keep up the good work. Keep it up. And yeah. I am a bit heavier though. I'm like, currently I'm at 101 kilograms. So yeah, we have quite a way to go to lose. Was this? Sir Sue says, I lift 2 60-kilogram sacks of rice. That's how strong I got after I do workouts, even after I stop playing sports. Those are awesome, especially with your ankle supports. Rather, that's amazing. That's really cool. You know, actually, not too far from where I live is like this water refilling station. So especially if you live in, if you don't have like a pump or anything like that, sometimes you would bring your water gallon bottles, the blue 5-gallon jerry cans, and then they would fill it up and then you would bring it home. But sometimes if you're not strong enough to carry it back, the delivery guys would be there to bring it all the way up. And those people are jacked. They are super muscular from carrying those things all day, every day. My goodness. So, yeah, I could see why just carrying those things would give you a ton of strength right there. Let's see. Sir Sue says, yes, I remember a funny story in my MMA or mixed martial arts days. They thought I'm too weak because I'm kind of small at 5'8". My opponents most of the time are 6-footers. But the funny thing is they laughed because of my tummy being kind of fat, and I do not have jacked up muscles, but they are fearing me due to I can yeet them. Oh yeah. Do not underestimate the size. Do not underestimate the size. And yeah, I think we are getting to the front. There we go. Thank you. Okay, and this is when Sani comes in. So yes, thank you again, Sani. And let's see. Sir Sue says, because you don't just sound like one, your show in just chatting is like from a radio. Oh, that's very nice. Thank you. See, accept the compliment. Say thank you. Right, just start from there. You have such a distinct voice. Thank you. Thank you for that. The funny thing about voices is that actually lately they have been asking me for I've been asked to do voiceover work for some secretive projects that I cannot share, and it's not like anything related to my VTuber career or streamer career for that matter, but I have to provide my voice for that, and it seems that I'm pretty much in demand in that group. I don't know. It goes back to the days back in high school, because again, I was not the sporty kind. If ever there was like a what's this, and a bunch of contests that happen in between schools, usually while my other friends were there representing the soccer team or the basketball team or taekwondo or swimming, I was the one that was representing public speaking, oration. That was my forte. And I was there for 3 years straight. And for the first 2 years, I got only silver medals. But right before I graduated, I entered one more contest, and I finally got gold. I finally got gold. And that made me very happy. I remember one particular contest was funny in hindsight, because we were expecting that it was supposed to be held in the afternoon. But apparently there was a schedule change and they held it in the morning instead. So I had to change into my barong, and then I had to rush over to across the street because the contest was held in the high school and university across the street from mine. So thankfully it was very near. So we just raced over into the auditorium, and then there we had the contest. And that was a regional oration contest. And then we did everything, and then I did my best, and apparently and the one who won, so again, I was second place at the time. The one who won was a representative of that school. So it kind of left a bad taste in the mouth of my teachers, my coaches, because it's like, they changed the time of the contest, and then the winner was someone from their own school. That sounds wrong, they said. But for me, it didn't really matter for me because it was very stressed at the time. I was just glad that it was over. And funny story is that that contest was actually sponsored by Mang Inasal. And at the time, Mang Inasal was still very new, and it was still very tasty. So, and the winners, the top 3, were not only given monetary prizes, they were not only given trophies, they also had discount vouchers for Mang Inasal. Oh my goodness, that was a big deal back in the day, because Mang Inasal was still new, and it was not yet part of JFC, so it was still its own thing, and it was still pretty new. And I enjoyed eating it there back at the time. Oh, Tonk, you finished work. Good job. Nice work. So at least you can now relax and wind down. Good to hear. And then, so that was like the funny contest. And oh, sorry. And I also wanted to mention that when I was leaving the auditorium, they they were actually they were actually talking to me, the audience. They were saying that, you know, it was also rigged. You know, they felt that I deserved the win, apparently. And a couple of them even shook my hand for some reason. And again, that was the time when I still had like self-esteem problems. So I was like, why are you shaking my hand? What's happening? Why are you initiating skin contact? Why are you initiating skin contact with me? Danger, danger. Okay, like that. But, you know, hearing what they had to say, that they enjoyed my performance, was, in hindsight, really, really nice. Really, really nice. Like, why touch? No, don't, no touchy, no touchy. But yeah, but they were very kind. They enjoyed my performance, and they also said that, you know, I was the one that deserved to win. I really wish I deserved to win, because, you know, I would have gotten more discount cards for Mang Inasal. Hashtag priorities as a kid, you know. But the time that I finally won the gold medal, there was also a funny story behind it, because my school had 2 representatives, and at the time, I am glad to say that whenever we had those speech contests, 9 times out of 10, I was the one that wrote the speech, and then my teachers would just, you know, fine-tune it and stuff. And apparently what happened was, I don't know how, but the other representative also got a copy of my speech, the original version. I think that was the one made by my teachers this time. So they made that, they used that, and then mine, to make it a bit more distinct from them, we tweaked it a bit more. We still kept it within the theme, but it was distinct enough from theirs. So come contest time, I listened to what they were doing. It was a small room, okay? It was not an auditorium. And then it was a small room, and then when I was listening to the other representative, they were like, it was just like they were whispering to the judges, okay? It's just like they were whispering. Like, I was there in this, just like a few feet away from him, but even then I was like, what? What are you saying? Like, really? Okay, it's an oration contest. You're supposed to speak. Use your voice. Like that. And, I don't know. It's just, or maybe that's just my way of, you know, interpreting how the event is, you know, because if you know what I do, or who I am, and now that you've seen me in my face, I'm a naturally expressive person if I talk and share stories. So, you know, hearing the other person, you know, share their speech, and it just sounded like whispering. That was so weird. And the funny thing is, they were using the mic, and still it sounded like whispering. That was just that was just a very weird thing, okay? For me. Okay, I'll just be clear. It seemed like that to me. And then that was my turn. Hold on, I need to drink. Because I'm gonna give you a bit of what I remember from that speech. I guess that's maybe their peak screen, but come on, they have a microphone. I don't know. And you're not even supposed to... Okay, I lied, alright? The problem sometimes with me is that when I give speeches, I shout. And I remember is that sometimes I don't even need a microphone anymore because I can shout. And I worry sometimes about the sound technicians because, you know, they have to lower the microphone a bit when I talk. So for other people, it's like they have to turn it up. For me, it's like lower it down. That's why in this microphone here I don't have gain. I don't use the gain lever because if I did, you'd probably go deaf. Unless you're one of the people that like that. I don't know. So, I'm gonna turn off the Spotify for a bit. Let me find that line. I'm trying to remember because I remember in the speech, one of the things that I did, or what that we had in the speech, was a quote. So let me just find that here. Thank you for the lurk, Susu. Ah, yes. Here we go. So this is like the ending of that speech where I finally got the gold medal. So this is the beginning, okay? So before I go, I will leave you with some words from Henry David Thoreau. He says, "Talk of mysteries. Think of our life in nature. Daily to be shown matter, to come in contact with it. Rocks, trees, wind in our cheeks, the solid earth, the actual world, the common sense. Contact! Contact! Who are we? Where are we?" Then sabay, wow. There we go. Thank you for coming to my TED Talk. That's it. Yeah, the classic way for me to end my speech. And that was a time I always made sure to make a dramatic effect of putting my glasses back on, and then bow, and then back to my chair. Because in my experience, whenever I give speeches like those, speeches that I've already memorized, I always make sure to take off my glasses. It's I don't know. I guess it's because, you know, when you're in an auditorium, the spotlights are like really bright on your face, and it always made me squint if I had my glasses on. So usually I would just take my glasses off, and then that's when I would give my speech. And it also has the benefit of making sure that I do not see any faces in the audience. Astigmatism, gang, let's go. Yeah, that's probably one of the good things about having astigmatism. You can't really make out any faces. So if you're the type of person that's kind of conscious of the faces in your audience, I don't have to worry about that if I take my glasses off. It still sucks though, but yeah. Every time I would have a speech contest like that, so what I would do is that I would go from my chair, right, and then they're gonna say, Serjay, no, contestant number whatever, and then I stand up. Let's just say I'm standing up. I approach the microphone. Then I make a big motion of taking off my glasses and then putting it on my barong like this. Then I was taught this by my teachers, because usually there's like 3 judges at the table down there. So bow to the left judge, bow to the right judge, bow to the center judge, and then deep breath, and then begin the speech. Works every time. Truth be told, a lot of people are understandably scared of speaking in public. If you're willing to share, you can go ahead and write down in the comments, who among you is afraid of speaking in public? But the thing is, I'm talking to streamers, and by necessity, you are actually talking to people in public. Even if it's, you know, in even if you're just like talking to an internet audience, which is not the same as an auditorium full of people, but you know, it's still the same thing. You're exposing yourself, or you're sharing yourself to a huge audience of people. And I think the more challenging part of that is that you can't see them. So unless they like, if you have a dead chat, or if you don't have people watching, for example, you can't judge their reactions. So sometimes it feels you're just like talking to the wind, which it can also be very difficult because you don't know, you can't really like alter your speech without seeing some kind of reaction from them. But again, going back to the point, most of us who are watching here are streamers ourselves. So we're also more comfortable when it comes to talking to an audience. But for me personally, I find it very intimidating instead to talk face to face with someone. So let's say, you know, thesis defense or oral examinations for like philosophy or theology, where you have to debate with your professor about like this philosophical statement or something like that. Or job interviews. Holy cow. Job interviews for the longest time were the scariest thing for me. You could tell me to give a speech, or you could tell me to host things like for 200, 500, whatever people, and I'd say sure. But if you tell me right now that I have to do a job interview, I'd probably tell you no. I guess I don't know if you feel the same as me, but it's like, you know, if you have a job interview or you're in that one-on-one situation with someone sitting across the table from you, it's like there is no escape. There is nothing you could do. Even if I take my glasses, that person is still there. I can still see them, even if it's blurred. I know that I can still vaguely see some kind of reaction from them. And none of the techniques that I can do, none of the showmanship that I've done in my public speaking career will work there in a way. So the technique in trying to impress the hiring manager is a totally different thing when you do job interviews. And that always sends my heart racing. Gosh, I guess, you know, relating it back to the original topic of exercise, I think if I want to do like good cardio exercises, the best thing I should do is keep getting job interviews every day. I should probably buy like one of those heart rate monitors that streamers use, and then put it in my chest, and then go to a job interview, and then we'll test how high my heart rate goes. But then again, we don't really need to do that because I have my smartwatch. It can also tell my heart rate, and holy cow, sometimes when coach asks me to do like the high intensity cardio, so like ball slams, squats, running around, my heart rate can go up to like say 180 beats per minute. So if I was in a job interview right now, I'd probably hit like a 190. And I'll tell you, Tonk, okay, your definition of high intensity cardio is probably no. My definition of high intensity cardio is probably your warm up, because I'm super out of shape, okay? Let's be clear. But, you know, I'm proud now that when coach says, okay, Serjay, I'll give you like 25 seconds of rest before we move on to the next exercise. Now, if he says 25 seconds, I can do 25 seconds. Before, it would take like a minute each time. So we're improving. We're improving. And I remember I used to joke with him at the end of the session. I would be like, Coach, I know I'm pretty big, so can you just give me the attendance sheet, and then you could just roll me like a burrito out the door and then kick me down the stairs. I'll let gravity take care of me on the way out. But now I can just say, coach will say, "Oh, Serjay, do you still want me to kick you down the stairs?" And I'm like, no. I can walk out. And he's like, yeah, that's it. Now we're talking. So, you know, the suffering is worth it somehow. My gosh. Tong says, warm up. I feel called out. Well, you know, because again, from what I recall from our chat, you come from a background of calisthenics, which kind of like treats high intensity cardio like your bread and butter. Okay, it's like a walk in the park for you now, where my focus is more on weightlifting instead. So we come from like two different ends of the spectrum. Yeah. All this talking is also good exercise too, you know. I'm very happy to admit that it's March 31. So I actually did not use my maintenance inhaler. I did not use my maintenance inhaler yesterday because I finally managed to talk to the doctor, my pulmonologist. I say finally because I was supposed to talk to them ages ago, but because of, you know, my very hectic schedule, I cannot find the time to talk to them. So ever since I got COVID last year, I've been on maintenance inhaler, but I probably would not have needed it for that long. But again, I couldn't have known because I couldn't have scheduled a session with them. But earlier this month, I finally got to talk to them, and then they said, okay, Serjay, if you're still not experiencing any symptoms with your inhaler, then you can go ahead and stop using it. And so far, I don't have any symptoms showing, so I don't have to use my maintenance inhaler anymore, at least until the next asthma season. So which will probably be in December. Aw, man, living with asthma is such a pain, you know. It's like, oh well, it's December again. It's gonna be very cold. Time to bring out the asthma inhaler. Okay, everybody, I have to confess something. I vape. I medicinal vape. Yeah, medicinal vape gang here. Wave out your inhalers, okay? We get it, Serjay. You inhale. My goodness, that joke never gets old for me. My gosh. And here's the thing, I didn't have asthma until just a few years ago, which is so weird. It's kind of like allergies, you know? I was not allergic to anything, but it was only a few years ago that I became allergic to some things as well. So that was surprising, you know? How all of a sudden my body will just say, "Nope, Serjay, you're not. We're gonna nerf you." Oh, you have no problems with reading book dust because you like reading old books? Well, now you do. Now you got allergies and you're gonna get asthma attacks. Oh my gosh. But I will say, that I'm very glad that I only have allergies to non-food stuff. I don't know how you, my audience, if you have allergies, found out, but I found out my way because I went to an allergologist, a doctor, and what they did is that they had this case full of concentrated samples of allergens. So food, mosquitoes, dust, cockroaches, mites, bunch of those things. So what they did is that they would get she got my 2 arms and then she pricked it a bunch of times, and then she would put a tiny drop of the allergen there. So on my left arm was all food allergens, and on my right arm was stuff like dust, cockroaches, mosquitoes, all those sorts of things. And at the end of the session, we found out that we found out that I am allergic to cockroaches, to dust and dust mites. And I said, oh, that's bad. Okay. But I was so relieved that none of the food allergens on my left arm like grew really red, because they will tell if you're allergic to something, because the spot where they put the allergen on, because they prick you in order to make you bleed a bit. So trigger warning. But it's just like a tiny prick on the skin just to break it up a bit, just so they can see how your body reacts to the allergen. And then they put it there, and then after like a few minutes, the spot will turn red. And depending if you're like allergic to the thing, it will grow red, let's say by this circle. If the redness matches the size of the circle or is a bit bigger than that, then you're considered allergic to that thing. I was so scared when I saw that the circle for chocolate was getting bigger and bigger. But at the end, by the grace of all that is holy, I am not allergic to chocolate. Thank God. Thank everyone. Allergic to dust? Fine. Okay, I understand. Allergic to cockroaches? Understandable. Mites? Fair. Chocolate? Okay, that's where we draw the line. Okay? We don't allow that in this house. This house called my body. Oh my gosh. But yeah, as you grow older, sometimes your body just does weird things. Okay? And well, it do be like that sometimes, I guess. You can't always control what your body wants to do. And I know in a way, some ways you can, especially when it comes to, let's say, your choice of food and how it affects your weight, and then how your weight affects the other parts of your body, that sort of things. But sometimes it just doesn't make sense, like giving you random allergies. Or suddenly saying, oh, well, now it's time to give you asthma. But this is just me. I'm an uninformed commoner. I don't have a medical degree. So this is probably me just pulling stuff out of the air. Maybe there is a reason why I got allergies. I got asthma. Probably because I'm obese, or some other reason. I don't know. So whatever the reason, I just have to live with it for now. And hopefully just in the future, if it's not gonna go away, at least I hope it will get better and it will improve. Breathe. Breathing is a luxury for me now. My goodness. But yes, of course, as I mentioned before, also aside from breathing, make sure that you hydrate as well. Especially now, it's gonna get really hot in a while, so if you're gonna be starting your day, make sure that you go ahead and keep your water levels in check, keep cool, stay under the shade as much as possible, and if you're like me, who will be sleeping in a while, then make sure that you have your room is very well ventilated, and good luck. Hey, we almost finished 1 liter. That's nice. I'm very grateful that, you know, I do drink a lot of water. I am surprised by some people around me that can go almost the entire day without drinking anything, at least from what I see. So they're the type of people that, like, you know, they need to get like those special alarms or apps on their phone to remind them to actually drink water. I guess it's also my problem, because whenever I feel the need to eat or drink, then I do it. Which is also a problem in itself, because, you know, how did I get to be this size unless I always listened to my body that told me, hey, Serjay, it's time to eat. And then I eat. So it's a good thing, it's a bad thing. It's a good thing, it's a bad thing. But yeah, if at least when it comes to keeping myself hydrated, I don't have to worry about that. But also for you, everyone who's watching, I really hope that you do, because we need that now more than ever. It's going to be difficult, so especially when we're going to be entering April. Holy cow, it's going to be a long and difficult journey. It's going to be another difficult month, but hopefully we'll be able to survive it, as we have done in all of the previous months before, as always. Okay, finally my cell phone is fully charged, thank goodness. The original what was originally supposed to be the topic of this session was me supposed to talk about my cell phone. So I managed to find a spare battery for my Cherry P1. So we were supposed to talk about this and old cell phones in general, but we got sidetracked. Well, we didn't just get sidetracked, we got lost along the way talking about exercise and gym. But that's perfectly fine. I know people who know me as the person who always prefers to have a plan, to always be organized, to not enjoy surprises. But I'll tell you this, that sometimes in streams like these, you know, having the chat, you know, direct the direction of the stream is also very fun. So I ain't complaining. I'm very glad that we were able to go through this topic, and I think that at this point we have pretty much exhausted all I need to talk about for today. and I won't drag it on for way too long as well. So I think this will be a good time to call it. We're doing pretty good at this point, so I think now would be a good time to see who we could raid and then spread the love and show. Yeah. So, okay, what we're gonna do now, let's go ahead and share those raid messages. Before we do that, there we go. Okay, I remember, because I have this thing here, because a couple of weeks ago someone raided me right before I was about to end my stream and raid someone else. So it was a very, very awkward situation. So to avoid that, if ever they feel like dropping by, at least now they know that stream is ending soon. So here are the raid messages, both for those who have subscribed to me and those who are just followers. And we're gonna check, I'll go check if I can raid Len. So let me go. Let's see, because the last time I tried to raid a couple of people, they said their ability to be raided was disabled. So let's see. Okay, there we go, Len. We can do this. Okay, so we're gonna go ahead and raid Len. He is actually having a birthday stream right now, a 6-hour birthday stream. So let's go ahead and spread the love, the Serjavian Nation love. So thank you once again, everybody, for making me a part of your day, and I hope that the stream brought a little more color to your day. So my name is Serjay, and I hope that you take care, always stay safe, and keep the world turning, all right? Bye now. See ya. Oh, tomorrow night, 10 p.m. Philippine time, Saturday, we're gonna be playing Splatoon 3 Splatfest. So see you then. Bye now.